After our testy exchange this morning, Andrew invites me to watch him train.
Have you ever boxed before?
No. But it turns out he's planning on teaching me a lesson.
Who's got spare gloves? There you go.
I appear to have unintentionally walked into a situation where Andrew Tate is going to train me how to box.
Punch me.
What I found out
My plan was to sow anarchy.
is that this recent arrest appears to be just the tip of the iceberg.
This is definitely a hit piece.
I don't care.
The real story
We've clearly conquered the internet.
began years ago.
There's not a single female complaining on the
Do you think
planet.
there's not a single
No.
female complaining?
Have you seen one? Tell me.
My ex-boyfriend was radicalized by Andrew Tate. He was sweet and I guess vulnerable to being brainwashed by Andrew Tate and his cult.
People don't know what he's done.
Imagine shooting a man with your last bullet, and he stands there, unfazed.
Luke, your screen's compromised, yeah? So keep it super fucking vanilla.
But with a historic allegation in the UK, and the Romanian police now looking into him for and human trafficking, I want to find out more about his methods of recruiting women. Did you at one point say that the girls who started as your girlfriends and then worked for the webcam industry, 100% of the profit goes to you?
I think in a lot of households in the world today, the man is in charge of the investments. I think that's not an uncommon thing. Tell me a view I have that you think is genuinely insulting or destructive to society. I'd like to hear it.
You prefer younger women who are 18 or 19 because you can leave an imprint on them?
No, when I say leave an imprint, I mean that. I understand what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that, like, if I get her, I can brainwash her. I'm not trying to say that. If you meet a girl who's 22 and you're her second boyfriend, she's probably like a nicer person, less jaded, less upset, less suspicious.
So you like to be in a position of power?
It's not being in a position of power. It's about, I enjoy to show her amazing things. You're trying to attach things to the situation which aren't true.
5 years ago, you said a terrible thing, but if you put yourself in a position to then you should bear some responsibility for that.
Okay, so first, we agree that rape is a terrible thing. The point I'm trying to make is the best way to prevent yourself from being is to have a degree of personal responsibility and not put yourself in positions as opposed to standing there saying that shouldn't happen because, or men, raise our boys better. You know what else shouldn't happen? Robbery. I want the freedom to walk down the road with $1 million in cash.
Is it fair to compare the desire to walk around with £1 million in cash to someone wanting to just walk around their own city at night?
Well, female beauty is extremely valuable.
Of course, female beauty is extremely valuable in the eyes of men who seek to exploit it.
Am I a bad person? Because the more you didn't like it, the more I enjoyed it. I loved how much you hated it. Turned me on. Why am I like that? Why? I am one of the most dangerous men on this planet. Sometimes you forget exactly how lucky you were by me. Would you rather me pin you down and make you do things you didn't like, or would you rather fuck? You didn't like that I was thinking I can do whatever I want to you. That's what it is. I'm the smartest person on this planet. Are you seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit? You didn't pass out. Chill the out. Jesus Christ, I thought you were cool. What's wrong with you?
The $1 million question is, how on earth did Vice obtain this voice note? At least show us evidence of the police confiscating Andrew Tate's phone, because right now, Vice is not showing the voice messages of the woman replying back to Tate, nor does Vice show the woman's face or her name. Two things that comes to my mind. Either it didn't happen, or Vice just thinks people are freaking NPCs and stupid.
First, let me correct you, because I'm a professional.
Is that it's similar to, or people might consider that a form of grooming?
Okay, so I'm a professional, so I have to change what you just said. I have to at least challenge you on it. Nobody's concerned about anything that happened 10 years ago when a bunch of girls got rich. There's not a single female complaining.
Do you think there's not a single female complaining?
Have you seen one? Tell me.
Andrew says no woman has complained about him personally. He won't let us speak to the women who work for him, so for now it's difficult to verify this claim. But I have spoken to many women who complain about the effect Andrew's rhetoric is having on their lives. To protect them from harassment, I've agreed not to name them.
My ex-boyfriend was radicalized by Andrew Tate to the point of threatening to release revenge porn unless I took back what I said on social media against his sexist, misogynistic views.
It's like a virus, the things that he's spreading. The scariest thing is, I have no idea if the next guy I meet could be an Andrew Tate fan.
As a teacher, it's definitely worrisome. There are boys who look up to him, especially those that are maybe vulnerable and they're sort of going to go into the real world carrying those violent views with them.
Now, if you replay the voice note over again, it sounds like a Walmart bootleg version of Andrew Tate's voice.
Am I a bad person? Because the more you didn't like it, the more I enjoyed it. I loved how much you hated it. Turned me on.
Now, there are two key components that I want to point out about this clip. The first one, how come it's only what Andrew Tate said, not what the girl said? It's clearly just a one-sided conversation with absolutely no context. The second thing, you can clearly tell that this voice note has been automated, filtered, and edited. You can be a Tate header. You don't even have to be a Tate fan to realize something is off and a little bit fishy about this clip.
Are you seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit? You didn't pass out. Chill the out. Jesus Christ, I thought you were cool. What's wrong with you?
Is it just me? But that does not sound like Andrew Tate's voice. Now, could it be an AI voice generator? You never know. But you guys decide after I show you guys this clip.
This is what my actual voice sounds like.
And this is what my voice sounds like using the magic of AI.
What the fuck?
Now switched my voice over. It very clearly just straight up sounds like Joe Biden, who is the current president of the United States. Now use Joe Biden's voice here to explain to you what this piece of voice.ai actually is. So this is known as the voice universe. This is where users can actually upload their own trained voice models onto the quote-unquote voice universe for different people to try out and download. For example, we have some impressions of
action here, but for now, I've just apparently switched my voice over to Barack Obama. As you can see, typically when you do actually switch voices, I've noticed you sound a little bit weird, you sound a little bit wonky. I think it's because the AI trained model has to actually go ahead and pick up on your voice and see the way that your voice sounds by you talking to them at first, and then it can adjust the model based on that and provide a more accurate output. And this one I've tested as well as the Joe Biden one. They both sound very, very accurate. This one definitely does sound like Obama. I think the Joe Biden one sounds more like Joe Biden than this sounds like Obama.
Gotta have them ribs. And pussy too.
Here's the thing. We've only seen just snippets. And let's talk about the procedure a little bit. There's the evidence gathering stage, which is what we're in right now. And I've seen some comments, where people say, well, they've come back and they've said that they didn't do it. He hasn't had an opportunity to cross-examine anybody yet. Well, no, you wouldn't at this stage. This is the charging stage. It's the very beginning. You don't get your opportunity to cross-examine somebody before you testify or before you get charged. You get charged, then you go through pretrial procedures. Maybe you have some motions. Maybe you make a motion saying that all these recordings are AI and they're really not. And so you file a motion with the court. And then you bring the women in and she says, no, he said this to me. And, and these would have been recorded on WhatsApp and apparently sent to them. So they would have the recordings. And if they come in and lay foundation for him, it is an admission of a party opponent. So it comes in as his own statement if it has sufficient indicia of reliability.
I'm 14. The boys at school my age think that it's okay to say horrible things like women are man's property and they get to do what they want with them. It makes me really disappointed in my generation.
Andrew's views represent a new era in modern misogyny.
Start talking to some bitches and say, me and my man are gonna fuck you.
where you can now not only talk openly about subjugating and objectifying women, but doing so actually garners millions of committed fans.
They don't believe the level that you can operate at when you're actually a G.
The most hardcore of them have traveled here to Romania to join the War Room.
The War Room is a fraternity. We're a brotherhood which is designed to inspire the best from our brothers. They have to have the mentality and the pedigree to survive. There's tests, and if you do them, you can stay inside.
At the top of Andrew's fraternity is a small group of wealthy and powerful men who all stand to gain significantly from the expansion of his empire.
Sartorial, or the sartorial shooter. I'm one of the guys who manages organizational risk and security for the War Room. So anyone with any criminal activity, maybe they are showing signs of being racist or sexist or any of these sorts of things, they're out straight away. We will not tolerate that.
And so how do you reconcile that with some of the things that Andrew, for example, says online?
Any claims of misogyny or the fact that he's, spreading hateful words, that's not the reality of who he is, and that's not what the War Room stands for, and that's not what he stands for. There are many clips of him out there saying, I'm not a misogynist, I provide for my women, I would stand up for my women in a violent situation.
What do you think his detractors would say about, for example, what you just said, the phrase, my women? Do you think that they would consider that to be misogynist?
The phrase, my woman, for me, ties into the very traditional values that we have.
Known for talking a lot about his multiple girlfriends. How does that tie into this idea of a traditional
my boyfriend,
relationship?
my wife.
Men at certain levels can provide for multiple women. And even we can go back 100 years ago, kings, wealthy men, they would support multiple families. How is that a bad thing? It's only very recently that men and women have been competing in pretty much in masculine realms, in work, in career. Not that long ago, and indeed in many cultures around the world, women still have the traditional gender norms. And we believe in the War Room, that's what leads to happiness.
Rather than a career or, like you have, your own agency in the world to pursue your own goals.
The women who I know who are most fulfilled in life are not trying to do the things that traditionally men used to do.
What about a situation where, this has just popped into my head, where I want my girlfriend, who I love, to be a kept woman, but she doesn't, she wants to pursue a career or something like that?
Then find a different woman. Very simple.
I don't know much about the War Room, because I have no affiliations with it, nor do I know the guy reacting to the video. But I do know a weasel when I see one. And this Vice guy is absolutely a little weasel, because only a weasel will pinpoint a coordinate attack, while Andrew Tate is in jail defenseless. Only a little weasel will kick a man when he's on the ground.
You little weasel! Look at you, you little weasel, I can see it in your eyes.
The universe lies within your grasp.
I was bowling by
I appear to have unintentionally walked into a situation where Andrew Tate is going to train me how to box.
Punch me. Come on. Punch me. Knock out. Oh, look, you're bleeding already.
Oh, Daddy, my pussy hurts.
It's only round one. We've only warmed up. Keep them on, bro. We've got 10 more rounds.
No, in the way.
Did anyone else notice that this man, Matt Shea, looked more manlier and more masculine after he came back from the War Room? Finally, his balls dropped. He can finally grow some hair on his chest now. And finally, he can probably go out and get some poutine for once. Now, gentlemen, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
I will not have sons who are too busy buying NFTs and saying, oh, I made a little bit of money, and have skinny little arms and go to crypto conventions and be dorks. I will not have nerds as children. I refuse to have a nerd carry the name Tate. If my son is a nerd, one of us has to die, him or me, and I'll challenge him to Mortal Kombat.
Jesus Christ.